Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Senator, good to have you with us tonight. Thank you so much. Let's be clear on this. Why was there limited testimony for those who opposed the trade agreement?
Well, look, historically, as you have pointed out in your discussion, this thing has been a stacked deck that corporate America has pushed through trade agreement after trade agreement with enormous lobbying efforts, campaign contributions, and these results, these trade agreements, have ended up devastating working families and enriching large corporations. So sadly, historically, what we have seen is Republicans and Democrats coming together for disastrous trade agreements, which, by the way, are partially responsible for the fact that in the last 13 years, we have lost over 60,000 factories in the United States. Not all trade, but trade is a significant reason why. What corporations are doing is saying, why should we pay an American worker 15 or 20 bucks an hour when we can go to Vietnam, we can go to China, and in Vietnam, the minimum wage, Ed, is 28 cents an hour.
Yeah.
Why are these corporations going to invest in America and create jobs here when you can go to Vietnam?
So how can anybody make the case that this will create jobs in America because it will increase our exports?
They keep saying the same thing over and over again, trade agreement after trade agreement, and they're wrong every single time. Look, will this trade agreement create some new export jobs? The answer is yes. Will it lose far more jobs because companies shut down here and move abroad to capture cheap labor? The answer is yes. So we gain a little, we lose a lot. And over the years, as a result of these trade agreements, that's the trade agreement with China, that's the Mexican NAFTA agreement, CAFTA agreement, we have lost in total millions of decent paying jobs, adding the pluses and the minuses together.
Senator, what's your response to the parallel argument Max Baucus is making that Al Gore made in 1993?
I mean, it is, they keep saying the same thing. And yes, again, there will be some increase in export jobs, but we lose more gain. And I get tired of hearing these same old arguments. The bottom line here is, look at all of the trade agreements. If they have worked well, if the middle class has grown, if wages in the United States have gone up as a result of these trade agreements, I'm all for it. But the converse is true. Not only have we lost millions of jobs, in terms of manufacturing, and you remember, manufacturing used to be the highest paid blue-collar work in America. Yeah. People could make it in the middle class. As a result of these trade agreements, we're in a race to the bottom. Manufacturing wages have gone down precipitously.
Well, the argument that's being presented from the Secretary of State, John Kerry, is that this is going to make it easier to do business. I don't argue with that. It's not a question about whether it's going to be easier to do a deal with another country. It's what are you going to get in the deal and what is your economy going to get out of the deal? And this is where the administration and the president has been void of explanation on this. Who's going to call them in the Senate on a carpet to explain to the American people before we get into this thing?
Some of us surely will. Look, this is going to be a great deal for the pharmaceutical industry. They can make huge profits by selling their medicine at very high prices in countries around the world. Yeah, they're going to make money. I can recall Jack Welch. Do you remember Jack Welch used to be the head of GE? What Jack Welch said, he said, if I had my druthers, I would put our manufacturing plants on a barge and take it to those countries where wages are lowest. This is what these agreements are about, allowing corporate America to shut down in America to go to low-wage countries.
All right, Senator, take us through the Senate minutia on this. Okay. It's all up to Harry Reid right now, is it not? I mean, he has the power to keep this off the floor and fast track not be an issue. What's going to happen?
Well, I can't predict what's going to happen, but this is what I will tell you. This is what the process is. This is interesting as well. To go forward on this TPP will require 60 votes to get fast track. What's very interesting to me, Ed, if we want to raise the minimum wage, if we want to extend unemployment benefits, we need, for final passage, 60 votes. If fast track is passed, guess how many votes we will need for final passage? 50 votes. So the fast track concept is a terrible idea, prevents members of Congress from offering amendments, provides just the 50 votes for final passage. I hope very much we do not bring this bill to the floor. If we do, I hope it's defeated.
And it's going to be very hard for the conservatives, where they're concerned about sovereignty in this deal, but it's going to be hard for them to oppose it because that pits them against the corporations. And this is why Rand Paul and some of the other big shots on the Republican side of the Senate, they don't want to come out and talk about this. They do not want to. They don't want to go home and say, "Hey, I helped you outsource some jobs."
But you know what's very interesting? There are a lot of grassroots Republicans who understand exactly what unfettered free trade is. They have seen jobs in their communities disappear and go to China. They are sick and tired of going to a store and not being able to buy a product manufactured in the United States of America. So the Republicans had better look at their grassroots, not just at their corporate campaign contributors.
All right. Senator Bernie Sanders, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Keep up the fight, my friend. Why are we spending time on this? Because once this deal goes through, you can't unravel it. You're not going to end up be able to amend it or change it.